Hey everyone, want to share some additional thoughts regarding Arkansas Athletic Director's Jeff Long firing head coach Bobby Petrino at the University of Arkansas after it was, officially discovered that yes, he not only had a, as he put it, improper relationship with Jessica Dorrell, his aide, but they had actually had the relationship, and I've written this in my blog post at zenny62.com, before she was hired. And I had a feeling that was the case. The question now I have, because I wrote in one of my blog posts that Dorrell was at the university starting, I think, back in 2008. How long had this relationship been going on before he hired her on March 28th? And I was dead on right. But I didn't even know that he had given her $20,000. That has got to be the most expensive piece of ass in college in a long, long time. Confirmed he was essentially her sugar daddy. Wow. Maybe it was for tuition. I don't know. Maybe it was to help her pay for her upcoming wedding with Josh Morgan, her fiance. I guess still her fiance. Wow, what a situation. At any rate, here is part of Jeff Long's press conference, including the part where he talks about the $20,000 payment.
Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. Last Thursday night, I met with you to share information that I'd learned just hours earlier that Coach Petrino had not been forthcoming with me and with you about the circumstances of his motorcycle accident. As you know, I placed Coach Petrino on administrative leave while I reviewed his conduct related to the accident. I assured him and all of you that I would approach this task fairly and thoroughly. Since that time, I have spoken with key individuals who were involved in the accident and in what occurred afterwards, his passenger on the motorcycle, the individuals who transported him to Fayetteville and to the hospital, and several people who spoke with Coach Petrino before and after the accident. I reviewed the manner, the timing, the extent to which Coach Petrino shared information about the accident, both with me and with others, and to whom he was accountable. That includes, among others, the members of the football program, our supporters, student athletes, faculty, staff, and alumni of this university, and the public at large. My review raised several concerns which led me to look beyond the accident itself. Those individuals, that included the professional and the personal relationship he had with his passenger, Jessica Dorrell. The process and circumstances that influenced his decision to hire her as a direct report member of his staff, and his candor and behavior as a member of my staff. Here are the key findings of my review. Coach Petrino knowingly misled the athletics department and the university about the circumstances related to his accident. He had multiple opportunities over a 4-day period to be forthcoming with me. He chose not to. He treated the news media and the general public in a similar manner. Coach Petrino's relationship with Ms. Dorrell gave her an unfair and undisclosed advantage for a position on Coach Petrino's football staff. She was one of 159 applicants for the job, and Coach Petrino himself participated in the review and selection process without disclosing his relationship with her, and that constitutes a conflict of interest under university policy. During my review of this matter, Coach Petrino informed me that he had given a large sum of cash, some $20,000, to Ms. Dorrell. Coach Petrino, however, failed to disclose this information to me prior to his recommendation to hire her into the football program. Coach Petrino's conduct regarding his account of the accident jeopardized the integrity of the football program. He made a choice to return to practice on Tuesday, to hold a press conference, and to demonstrate his physical resiliency and command of his program, all the time failing to correct the initial report that he was the only person involved in the accident. He made a conscious decision to speak and mislead the public on Tuesday, In doing so, he negatively and adversely affected the reputation of the University of Arkansas and our football program. By itself, Coach Petrino's consensual relationship with Ms. Dorrell prior to her joining the football staff was not against university policy. By itself, it's a matter between individuals and their families. However, in this case, Coach Petrino abused his authority when over the past few weeks he made a staff decision and personal choices that benefited himself and jeopardized the integrity of the football program.
Now, I want to say one thing. I said in my previous video that I felt that what Long did was harsh. I didn't think it was the best move, but I applaud the move because Jeff Long, as athletic director, stepped outside of Jeff Long, the friend, and said, I've got to do this because there's something bigger. And that's a stand-up, excellent leader. You saw in action. We saw in action. Excellent job. Would I have called it differently? I would have, because to me, wins and losses and money are very important in college sports. But, and you can say what you want to say, I'm just being honest with you about how I think. You can't chase away the trajectory that they were on. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens, from here on out. Bobby Petrino was an offensive genius, and he had that program in a fascinating course. That's going to be interesting. But today overall is what I call Morals Day, because shifting gears from Petrino, who I've talked about a lot, I want to say a little bit about Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie apologized for saying that Fidel Castro was a hero, and to some people he was. To many other Cubans, he was not. He was, to them, Hitler. But the bottom line is that, and I've said this before in my channels, and I'll say it again, when you reach a platform where your word, particularly in an internet society, affects millions rapidly, you must be careful and accountable for everything that you say, unfortunately. And when you make a mistake, you step forward, you apologize. Ozzie did that. Should he have had to do that? The answer is yes. Should he have been fired? No. In fact, the suspension was perfect and just, because Ozzie Guillen is a public figure. And it's not just that people can say things about you as a public figure, but you're a public figure because you are recognized quickly. Just like in the other case, Jessica Dorrell is a public figure now. People are going to be watching for what she does. They're going to be Jessica Dorrell sightings. Where is she? What happened to her? What's next? Is she going to get Gloria Albert as her attorney? So it's a fascinating place we are in society right now. To be continued.